Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Classic Tycoon here, and we're back for another Planet Coaster video. Today we're jumping into the second mission in the easy section of the career mode. This is Silversmith Manor. So let's jump in, see what we got today on this one. The previous career mission was definitely the most challenging one that I've done so far. It wasn't super hard or anything, but we did run into some roadblocks. If you want to check out that episode, it was the most recent one that I uploaded. And yeah, we'll see if this one's any harder, or if it's about the same, or if we have any easier time after we've learned from some of our mistakes.
This is a bit of a change of scene, isn't it, Oswald? A theme park which isn't all about chasing the latest and greatest ideas. Somewhere that focuses on tradition and families.
Well, you know, sometimes it's easy to overlook families in the pursuit of ever more thrilling rides. We should consider this an opportunity. An opportunity to cater to those who prefer a more sedate pace of life. Please, tell me. They haven't actually banned coasters, have they?
No, Oswald. Even so, it's going to take some carefully targeted advertising to fill this place.
Whew. I'll be honest, Cynthia. I'm more worried about the long walk the guests will have once they're through the turnstiles. This park is a bit of a sprawl. But perhaps with some transport rides and places for guests to have a sit down.
Alright, so just taking a look at what we've got here. Got this big manor in the middle that already has a water ride attached to it, so that's great. That's going to get us a little bit of money going. And other than that, I mean, it's just a basic kind of square park layout with this big scenery section in the center. Here's our entrance here. So we'll start building some rides going around that. We learned in the last episode that we don't want too much empty space going on in between the entrance and our closest ride, so we'll have to take care of that. We do have this rolling river ride right here that they're charging $12.50 for. Guests seem to be okay with that right now. We'll check on that again later. The goals in this park seem to be monetary, so we're going to be paying off this loan right here. You can see we've got a $25,000 loan. And yeah, if we want to do monthly repayments of $500, then it's going to take us $66,000 to repay it. So we're going to do that for right now. But eventually, you know, by the end of it, we should have enough money in the bank to just pay it off, and we won't have to pay $66,000 over so many months. Also, I mean, on our way to that $60,000 goal, we're going to be having some like park rating goals. So I think we have to get to a rating of 600. But like I was saying before, we don't want too much empty space between the front of the park and our first ride. So I'm going to start by building a ride right here by the entrance. And again, I don't know if this is the absolute... Okay. So, there's our first goal done. I don't know if this is the absolute best way to go about it. But it seemed, again, kind of like our last part. Guess we're a little bit unhappy about... you know, having to walk so far was a problem. Another problem we ran into was too much trash on the ground, and so before I even build any food stalls, I'm going to throw in these litter bins just to make sure they're already there. Then we'll hire some staff, and then we're going to build, the next thing we'll do is build food and drinks and restrooms and all that stuff to make sure that guests are satisfied. So checking out their happiness. This park, I wish this park had a food shop. There's not too much scenery, so a couple of things that we can get taken care of. I wish this park had a toilet, all that stuff. So I'll start out by building a Chief Beef right here. I'm just going to build the generic building right here, and then we'll spruce it up a little bit, give it our own kind of flavor. The only thing I don't like about the pre-built ones, I don't have any drink stalls, so I'm going to have to do vending machines for drinks, which I actually really like. We're not, there's some options for the guests that won't require us to hire any staff to take care of it. So they can always go to a vending machine if there's no staff at the actual food stall. So there we go. We'll throw in a janitor there to make sure that the park is clean. That's one thing that we really ran into problems with last time. Okay, here's a staff building. Just the generic staff building again, and then we'll throw in a restroom. And this restroom, I think we'll go ahead and hide it a little bit. Thinking about putting it right here, but I've seen some of the parks where they kind of hide the bathroom inside of like a cave or something so that we can't really see it. I'm just going to throw this in right here. That way we won't ever have to really see the restroom at all. Now, if we wanted to decorate this later, we could, but like I've said before, I'm not too interested in making the park super pretty unless it calls for it. I'll definitely be doing some decorating and stuff in this episode. Don't worry, it really helps with your park rating, and it also allows you to get more money out of rides. And I'm going to make like this one look good, but I don't want to do this with every single building. But I did want to just kind of play around with, the buildings and, what you can do with decorations building-wise. So here's my Chief Beef. I notice it's kind of like a brick layout, so I do some brick around it. Yeah, just trying to make it look decent. I don't know if putting these Chief Beef signs actually attract people. I don't think that they do. I have to look it up. But it's definitely more visually appealing. Alright. Let's start getting some rides built. This is what will really start bringing up our park rating. I think our medium goal is to get a park rating of 600. Or at least that's half of the goal. And right now, as I'm going through in this speed, you can see the park rating sitting about 377. So right here, I do some decoration for this this thrill ride that I have down here. I haven't really learned the names of the rides very much yet. Obviously, in Roller Coaster Tycoon, I have like every single ride name memorized for the most part, but I'm still just learning in this game. So right here, I definitely was experimenting with some of the lighting. Wasn't too sure how this was going to turn out here. Let me know what you think. If you think it's absolute trash, I won't be offended, honestly. I've just been experimenting with decorating. It's kind of new to me. I wasn't really much into it in Roller Coaster Tycoon. But this game, I feel like it is a little bit more necessary, or else your park's going to look really bland. this is probably the least intuitive part of the controls in the game, quite honestly, is dealing with these decorations. This took me a really long time just to get like these flames flipped around to the right setting. But right here, I was finally able to kind of get it into this kind of cage concrete area that I wanted. And then throwing some vines on the outside makes it look a little overgrown, a little bit more natural on the outside. And then I think building, like making it look good on the queue path is an important part as well. I think that's a very important part. Oftentimes when you see like the decoration aspect of your rides, it'll say like queue decoration, queue scenery, and what the guests think about that. And you see that the queue scenery rating on this ride now is 77. Which I think the max is 100%. Alright, let's throw in another ride here, and then we'll get into building a roller coaster. Okay, I think that's all looking pretty good. Alright, so here's the next roller coaster I'm going to build. Been playing around with different roller coasters lately, so let's jump in with this one. Hop the Gaps. So this is a side friction roller coaster. That is the equivalent of Roller Coaster Tycoon, or a real life roller coaster. Hop the Gaps. So I've said this before, I don't really like the names of the roller coasters in this game. I think side friction is just a lot easier, a lot better to remember like what this roller coaster does, rather than hop the gaps. Like, I don't get how that, I don't know. That doesn't seem, I don't know what gaps we're supposed to be hopping, what they really were thinking when they named it that, honestly. But, it is what it is. Now, as far as options go with building a side friction in this game, it's about exactly what you would expect. Side frictions are one of the most limited roller coasters, as far as like being able to add interesting track compared to other roller coasters. And it's just the way it is. That being said, you can still make them look good, especially in this game. I think, pretty much all of your roller coasters have a chance of looking really nice and just fitting right in with the park. And I'll say, I like being able to have really twisting tracks and lots of loops or whatever in my roller coasters. But, figuring out how to get one of these roller coasters to work is, part of the fun and part of the challenge. You've got these little cars that need to go. They're not super long trains like in other roller coasters. And you gotta, the physics are gonna be a little bit different than when you're working with other roller coaster tracks. So it's a little bit more challenging, and also making it exciting for the guests is more challenging as well. So I don't dislike building them. I definitely don't like it as much as a lot of the other coaster tracks, but they're cheap as well, and it's one of the things that you can see. I've been building this roller coaster and I'm having no problems with it, really, as far as the price goes, right? I think in one of my videos I ran out of money building the roller coaster. I had to actually delete it and build a different one. You guys didn't see that because I edited it out, but that happened to me one time. You do have the option of banking the turns just slightly, which you didn't have in Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I think that will be, you know, a minor benefit in this. It's a very slight bank, but I'm sure that will still help out in some situations for sure. Alright, let's get this track finished up. We'll definitely have to make this station platform bigger, because we're going to want to put some more cars in there, I think. 3 is just not going to quite cut it. It's not a super long roller coaster, but it'd be nice to have at least 4 or 5 in there. I find that this is a good way to do it sometimes. You know, build off the back of the track just a little bit. Depends on the situation. That looks pretty good. Just as long as there's nothing too crazy when you do the auto connect on the track, it should be fine. So that gets us to 5 cars. We'll test it out and see how she goes. That's a nice smooth roller coaster. About perfect speed at the end there, not too fast, not too slow. You know, that's a pretty fun looking roller coaster to me. I think I would ride it. So let's get this finished up. We'll check out our ratings here. 5.4, 3.5, and a 0.77. I will definitely take that for a little side friction roller coaster. I think that's not bad ratings at all. And we'll ride it, you know, in the first person view to wrap up the video. In the next one, we will actually decorate this path a little bit, and then we'll also build another roller coaster as we go toward our goal. But this video would have been a bit too long if I did the entire scenario in it. So we'll keep working toward our park rating. 538. We're really close to that 600 mark here. Yeah, let's jump into the roller coaster seat and actually ride along with these guys here. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you'd like to support the channel more, consider becoming a member. It's just a small donation monthly that goes to my channel, and it would help me to make much better and more regular content in the future. Again, thanks for all the support. See you guys next time.